that the Baraja faction didn't they were not the first to have taken this step they're discussing on this opera. They say that, after all, the PDP themselves did so, giving that example by dissolving the Kano Executive Council. But in the midst of all of this, there are lots of young people.
Kano.
We understand Kano. We understand, I mean, there are people who are watching the way these leaders, as they are carrying out these responsibilities, and they're leaving some sort of impression on them. In spite of all of this, how do you see, or what do you think should be done to sort all this out, since the meeting hasn't been able to sort it out?
Well, I have a feeling that I'm inclined to believe that these things will go the whole hog.
To 20... Go the whole hog, how do you mean, by the way?
In the sense that, if you permit me to use my old phrase, these contradictions that led to this body as a political party will find a way of resolving this themselves as we move on. Now, this is a party, this is not Malachi's word per se, that is not, or that was not effectively founded on a clear-cut ideological footing. They have carried on just like that. What has glued them together is the enormous slush fund that is available to play around.
Let me jump in. Pardon me. What about Nigerians? Are we helpless in this? Because now and again, we're supposed to come out and vote.
Quite frankly, the concept of republicanism, when you say Federal Republic of any country, the meaning, the trust of that word is the capacity of the citizenry to periodically change leadership. But as you know, and you are bound to know, that even if we say Federal Republic of Nigeria, Constitution of the Federal Republic, that doesn't make our Constitution a federal constitution. Therefore, I had thought that given the level of the pain that the present ruling party has inflicted on the Nigerian people, I mean, this is less than 2 years after we went on streets for over 1 active week protesting the removal of subsidy on petroleum products. It is over a year that we have seen that nothing happened, after all, with those who have been fingered as the perpetrators of this crime. It's over a year, too, that we realize that even when the National Assembly, by their own wisdom, constitutes committees to investigate into the improprieties or transgressions of those activities, they come out worse, as we saw in Farouk Lawal Committee and so on and so forth. It is over a year now we realize that you could open the door of a deputy director in the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and find 2 billion naira. It is over a year now that we realized that whereas they can conveniently tell us that the economy will be shut down if the demands of ASU are met pecuniarily, we also made to realize that for the PDP to continue to remain in power, about the same amount of money can be deployed in that direction.
Sorry, Chairman. Now you just talked about
I thought I was going to land.
No, before you land, let's because I'm trying to see if we can kick this in quickly. Yes, I actually thought you landed already. But looking at what happened now from the Speaker and the Baraji-led group and so many burning issues before they resumed, do you think it was a misplaced priority for them to have actually brought this out first, knowing that students have been on strike? Shouldn't that have been the first on the agenda?
I talked about the... I showed that. I was surprised. I didn't know in the scale of preference how that visit could attract the kind of premium that it attracted as at the time when it was accorded to them. What I know, and this is painfully, is that we are not actually in the business of governance. Politics don't cease in Nigeria until the next election. We ought to have the...
And that's the reality.
That is the reality. That is a painful situation. We ought to have the end of politics after elections. Not even during legal disputation of those of the results. But what we have is the continued politicking of everything, including, of course, that 2 years before general election, we are already, digging in, as it were. So I have a feeling that, save and until the Nigerian people effectively interpret where we find ourselves and begin to rise to the occasion, this time not just for rising sake, but to take their fate into their hands and also organize themselves to provide for themselves a credible alternative to what we are witnessing. For that long,
they shouldn't just sit back.
No, as a matter of fact,
they have to be part of this.
As a matter of fact, the ruling political party presently is at its lowest ebb now. And if we are organized, if we are determined to at least assist ourselves, this is the time to strike.
All right, we'll have to end it there. Malaki Gumadu, a legal practitioner, and with a note that we all have got to take a lot more political responsibility as a matter of national responsibility to be aware and take that ultimate decision when the time does come.